Sinn. Unashamedly built for purpose, where function trumps form. The German brand is known for creating over-engineered tool watches that will last the wearer a lifetime, but perhaps not so necessary for everyday life. Job depending, of course. While the aviation aesthetic ties are strong and well documented, Sinn has expanded in recent years to entice a broader consumer with options that are more suited to civilian or everyday life. The Sinn 104 STSA1W, yeah, that's a long one, isn't it? Being a collective hybrid of aviation and diver resulting from this design direction. The 104 could be considered mostly a modern interpretation of a pilot's watch with a sprinkle of diver DNA. The highly polished stainless steel case and lugs scream dressy attire, yet their angular sharp lugs give a slightly more aggressive demeanour. With a case size of 41mm, a lug to lug of 47mm, a thickness 11.5 and a lug width of 20mm, it's a great modern size that most wrist sizes can accommodate comfortably. While on paper some may reject 41mm, I feel the 104 wears more like a 39 to 40, with those sloped lugs and flat case back along with a shortish lug to lug. Small crown guards provide some protection to the more than adequately sized signed and screw down crown. Winding of the movement is an easy process with said crown, however it should be noted it can dig into the wrist with certain movements if not worn higher on the wrist. Sinn offers multiple strap options for the 104 and it initially arrived on a chocolate brown aviation inspired leather with white stitching. While contrasting nicely with the dial and being moderately soft, the lack of taper, thickness and small amount of buckle pin holes meant it didn't initially fit as hoped. After a quick strap change, it was a completely different equation with the perfectly proportioned 41mm case and those angular lugs sitting snugly on my 6.5-inch wrist. At only 75 grams and 11.5mm thick, the Sinn 104 is a great all-rounder for everyday use. As an alternative, a H-link bracelet was purchased, something that should have been done initially, lesson learnt. With polished center links and brushing on the outer H portion, it looks the business. While nicely executed with solid AND links and dual hexagon style screwed pins, more micro adjustment would be preferred over a dive extension here, or at least an option for half links. The clasp is a simple flip block type with a clean Sinn logo etched on it, nothing fancy here. Also, it should be noted the brushed center lug against the polished lugs will either drive you crazy or not bother you one bit. I sit somewhere in between. Overall, it's a different look but a little disappointing given the price point when purchased as an individual item. The coin-edged, bi-directional captive bezel, or as Sinn better describes it, pilot's bezel with minute ratcheting, is a slightly more unusual affair using a minute's countdown layout which turns out to be very useful for everyday use. Small adjusting screws allow the user to adjust the tension to get the preferred click that is desired. By using ball bearings under the bezel instead of a spring like your typical Seiko SKX for example, it's a different feel to your usual diving bezel. 60 clicks in either direction will bring the luminous inverted triangle back to 12 o'clock. The aluminium insert serves its purpose well and is legible in most daylight situations. On the reverse, a sapphire display caseback, which also has anti-reflective, reveals the Sellita SW220-1 movement, along with some minor decorations such as a gold rotor and blued screws. While a great alternative to the usual ETA movements, the drawback is the lower 38 power reserve, which at times can be a reach. Winding of the movement is reasonable, but nothing to write home about, and I actually had to send this one in for repairs after about a year of ownership due to a faulty stem issue and one of the gears not winding the rotor. Tech inside is pretty standard for Sinn, which includes anti-shock, anti-magnetism and a hefty 200 meter water resistance, which actually puts other sports watches to shame. There is no doubt the 104 is built for one purpose: legibility. The gorgeous white glossy dial tucked away behind a sapphire crystal that boasts anti-reflection on both sides can only truly be appreciated in person. Matched with contrasting black batten minute indices and those stunning syringe style hands are the epitome of simple, readable dials. I just adore the diamond shaped seconds hand, which is easy to pick up at a glance, and the printed italicized logo, a nod to aviation styling, and a German-English coloured matched day date wheel finish off the well balanced dial. Lume is nicely applied to all indices and hands And as mentioned earlier, the lume triangle marker on the bezel is a nice touch. The luminescence colour is bright and quite long lasting, certainly much better than others that I've reviewed so far. The Sinn 104 may not be a perfect watch, but it comes pretty darn close. Having owned this particular piece for nearly 2 years now, it has quickly become one of my go-to everyday pieces. One cannot argue the attractiveness of that white dial. Other options include black, blue, and a stunning green if white is not your flavour, and fantastic legibility. It looks incredible with any strap combination and works for almost every occasion. More importantly, wearability is spot on. So good that when you look down, it's a pleasant fest for the eyes every time. On the second-hand market, you'd be pushed to find a better valued piece with German engineering to back it up. What do you think? Comment below what your ultimate everyday watch would be. Or is. Thanks for watching, and please do hit that subscribe button to follow. Any comments, subscribers, likes, etc. It all helps the channel and really helps me continue producing this kind of content.